Hi everybody, I am back and today I have a little helper with me, Reese. She has made this recipe a lot of times, so she's going to be in the kitchen helping me today. We are going to make banana chocolate chip muffins, and this is something that we make all the time at home. There are 100 calories per muffin. You can have them for breakfast or a snack. I'll usually make them and then the kids will eat them for breakfast and then snack on them for a couple of days. So what we have in the bowl already, I have 3 ripe bananas. You can use bananas if they're not ripe. Just kind of give them a little squeeze before you take them out of the peel. These were pretty brown. The skin was pretty brown, the peel. But I have 3. I usually like using 4, but I only had 3. It's okay. And then I have 1/3 cup of melted butter. So what Reese is gonna do is she has a masher and she is gonna mash the bananas and the melted butter together. And hold the bowl with this hand. I have the oven preheating at 350 already, and I have lined my tins, my muffin tins, and I like using these parchment paper liners. It helps with the muffins not to stick. If you don't have that and you have regular liners, you might want to give your liners a little spray before you put the batter in, because this recipe does tend to stick. But with the parchment paper, it does not stick. So Reese is mashing the bananas with the melted butter. We're using a masher. You can use a fork or a wooden spoon. This is just easier for Reese to mash with. You like doing that? Is that a good job for you? She's made this a lot. This recipe yields between 12 and 18 muffins, depending on how many bananas you use. So today I have 3 bananas. I might get closer to a dozen rather than a dozen and a half. Can I feel it too? Oh, so she's done a really good job mashing that. Let me show you guys what it looks like. So that's just the butter and the bananas. And because these bananas were super ripe, it didn't take very much effort at all for her to mash these, right? Good job. So I'm just gonna put this in the sink. I don't want to mess. It is a Wednesday. It's just turned afternoon. We've been getting things done around the house, getting some school stuff done. So we decided to stop and make ourselves an afternoon snack, right? Yes. Okay, so I have the bananas and the butter. So now we're gonna add sugar. And I'm gonna measure it and pass it to her so she can put it in the bowl and mix it for me. So 2/3 cups of sugar, just white sugar. Go ahead. Good job. And then we have 1 large egg. Go ahead and pour that in, Reese. Here. And then a teaspoon of vanilla. And I have Mexican vanilla. I like it. That's what we usually use in our house. You guys know that I don't measure a lot when I cook, but when I bake, I always measure. Baking is a science. So now that we have the sugar, egg, and vanilla with the butter and the bananas, we're just gonna give it a mix. Reese is a natural. She loves cooking in the kitchen with me. Izzy likes being in the kitchen with me, not necessarily cooking in the kitchen. She just likes being around, which I love. Reese likes actually cooking. Oh wow, she's mixed that really good. Let's show them what the bowl looks like. So that's pretty much our liquids for our muffins. So I'm gonna do a little pinch of salt. So when recipes call for a pinch of salt, they really mean just a pinch of salt, because you don't want a salty sweet banana muffin. So literally a pinch. So I'm gonna put it in Reese's hand and she's gonna toss it into the bowl. Thank you. And then we're gonna use a teaspoon of baking soda. And I can use the other side. That's why I love these little measuring spoons. I'm almost out of baking soda. That's a problem in this house. Okay, so Reese, put your teaspoon of baking soda in there. And go ahead and give that a little mix. This is so easy. It's so easy, a 6-year-old can make it. You can tell she's so serious about this recipe. Okay, so now we're gonna add our dry ingredients right in to the bowl. We're gonna add flour, 1½ cups, right? Smile for the camera. So 1½ cups of flour. I have all-purpose flour. So that's 1. Kind of leveled it off with my finger. And 1/2. And you can give that a little stir, and then we will add a cup of chocolate chips. I like using dark chocolate chips. We just love dark chocolate in this house, but you can use any kind of chocolate chips. You could even use peanut butter chips. That would be really good. Bananas and peanut butter is a great combo. You could use milk chocolate. You can use white chocolate chips if you want. Whatever you have on hand, we like using dark chocolate chips. Before I started filming, I saw a hand in the chocolate chip jar eating the chocolate chips. Was it you eating the chocolate chips? It wasn't. Who was eating the chocolate chips? Izzy was, wasn't she? She was busted. She was sneaking chocolate chips. So now I'm gonna add the flour's almost incorporated in there. So now I'm gonna add the chocolate chips in. We don't want to lose any of those. So a cup of dark chocolate chips. And this is where it gets a little difficult to stir because the chocolate chips are hard to stir in, aren't they, Reese? I mean, seriously, it's easy enough that a 6-year-old can make. No excuses. 100 calories per muffin. It's a great way to use bananas that are starting to turn that you don't necessarily want to eat. So they're great to bake with. Can I give it a feel? So I'm just gonna scrape the last little bit of flour that's around the sides of the bowl. And on the bottom, she did a great job, wow. How much do you like these muffins? A lot? Reese is pretty shy. So maybe next time she cooks, she'll warm up just a little bit more. So I would say that batter is done. So simple. So we have our muffin tins lined with our parchment paper. I lined 18 to start with. If I don't use them all, that's fine. I can take them out. Here's the liners. I use the parchment paper liners. And so what I do is I use a cookie scoop. It just helps me control the amount I'm putting in the tin. It makes less of a mess, and I can put the same amount. So let me show them one, and then I'll have you do the rest. So I kind of do an overflowing scoop in each. So did you want to give it a go? Fill it all the way up. Here. Hold it upside down like that when you scoop. Watch. There you go. Okay, now give it a scoop. Okay. So after we fill these muffin tins, we're gonna put it in the oven. They bake between 18 and 20 minutes. I'll set my timer for 18 minutes to give it a check with a toothpick. If the toothpick comes out clean, you know the muffins are done. You don't want to overcook them. You don't want to dry them out. So I'll check them at 18 minutes. If they're not quite done, I'll cook them for another 2 minutes. So we're gonna finish lining these cupcakes. Filling the cupcake liners. And then we'll be back and show you the finished product. So they've been in the oven for 18 minutes, and I'm gonna stick a toothpick in to see if they're done. you will have chocolate on the toothpick, but no batter. So you just see melted chocolate, but no batter. So they are done. They cooked for 18 minutes. I ended up getting almost 2 dozen muffins out of this batter. Reese filled them for me, so she did a fabulous job. How much do you love chocolate banana muffins?
So much.
So much. So good, right? We're gonna let these cool. They're very hot right now, and then we'll come back and we'll let the girls taste them and see what they think. So we have let our muffins cool a little bit so the girls could try them. Let me move this over so you can see. And go ahead, girls, try your muffins.
Are you gonna eat yours?
No, I'm not gonna eat one, but I do want to show them that using these parchment paper liners, I told you they didn't stick, and you could just pull the muffin right out. It's a moist batter and muffin using bananas, and so if you don't use parchment paper, they will stick if you do not spray them. That's why I love those. Look at all that chocolate inside. Show the camera and Izzy of all the delicious dark chocolate chips in there. How is it?
9.9. One bite, everybody knows the rules.
Is it good, Reese? Okay, I'm thinking it's kid approved. And like I said, a 6-year-old can make this recipe. Super easy, 100 calories per muffin. Great recipe. We'll come back tonight with dinner.